If you've been scrolling through endless lists of home theater projectors, watching the same bright, 4K, cheap claims pop up, and still feel stuck on which one actually fits your living room, this review is here to clear that up. I've spent a few weeks setting up the Hisense L9Q ultra short throw in a typical apartment, swapping it with a 55-inch TV, and measuring how the picture holds up during a midnight movie marathon and a Sunday morning sports binge. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the L9Q isn't trying to be a budget laser projector, it's positioned as a premium short throw that promises cinema-level brightness without needing a dark room. That's a big deal if you live in a city apartment where you can't control ambient light. The 5000 lumen output means you can pull the curtains a little, keep the ceiling fan on, and still see a crisp image on an 80-inch screen placed just a foot from the wall. In my own setup, the picture stayed vivid even when the kitchen lights were on, something most standard throw projectors would struggle with. The real selling point here is the combination of a 4K UHD laser engine with Dolby Vision and Atmos, all wrapped in a compact housing that you can mount above a TV cabinet. Because it's a short throw, you don't need a dedicated projector room or a long distance of clearance. I mounted the L9Q on a low shelf, ran a single HDMI cable to my Google TV box, and the whole system looked more like a sleek soundbar than a traditional projector rig. That minimal footprint is where a lot of the value comes from. No ceiling mounts, no massive screen rolls, just a box you can hide behind a piece of furniture. Who should actually buy this? If you already own a decent sound system or are willing to invest in a decent set of speakers, and you crave a larger-than-life picture without committing to a full home theater construction, the L9Q is a strong contender. It shines, literally, for movie nights, streaming series in 4K, and even for gaming on a large canvas where the low input lag of a laser source matters. Families that watch sports together also benefit from the high contrast ratio. The 5000:1 contrast makes those fast-moving highlights pop, and the HDR support adds depth to the green field and the crowd's uniforms. On the flip side, if you're a total budget shopper who expects to get a 4K projector for under $1,000, this isn't the right pick. The price point sits comfortably in the high-end segment, and while you're paying for laser durability and premium optics, you'll still need to budget for a proper screen or at least a high-gain paint finish to get the most out of the brightness. Also, if you already have a 4K TV that sits in a dark room and you're happy with that, you might not notice the L9Q's advantage enough to justify the extra expense. Now, let's talk about practical strengths that matter after the box is opened. The first thing I noticed was the Pantone validated color calibration. That term sounds marketing-y, but in practice it means the projector is tuned to reproduce a wide color gamut that feels true to life. Watching a nature documentary, the blues of the ocean and the reds of a sunrise looked natural, not oversaturated. The AI-powered PQ Enhancement also adapts the picture based on the content, so you don't have to manually tweak gamma or color temperature when switching from a movie to a video game. Another real-world win is the built-in Google TV platform. Most projectors force you to use an external streaming stick, which adds another remote and another point of failure. The L9Q's interface is slick, voice-controlled, and integrates well with smart home devices. I could ask Google to pull up The Last of Us episode, dim the lights, and the projector would automatically switch to the optimal picture mode. For anyone who values a hands-off experience, that integration is a genuine time-saver. There are a few practical downsides you should be aware of before you click Add to Cart. First, the lamp-free laser source is durable, but the unit still generates heat. In a small bedroom I had to leave a little clearance at the back for ventilation, otherwise the fan kicked in noticeably loud after an hour of use. It's not a deal-breaker, but if you plan to watch marathon sessions in a very quiet environment, the fan noise could become a subtle distraction. Second, the throw distance is fixed. You can't pull the image further away without losing the short throw advantage, so you need a wall that can accommodate the 80 to 200-inch diagonal you're aiming for. That means measuring your room carefully. If your wall is only 6 feet wide, you'll be limited to about an 80-inch picture, which might feel underwhelming after paying a premium price. One more nuance: the L9Q supports IMAX Enhanced, which is a certification that promises a certain level of brightness, contrast, and color for IMAX branded content. In practice, I didn't notice a dramatic jump when watching an